Hi there, it's Alyssa from Domestic Heights. So today I'm going to show you how to make a lattice card or a lattice braid card. It looks way more complicated than it actually is to make. So this is my favorite type of project when it's actually, it looks really hard but is really easy to make. So I have a finished one here, and there's a couple different ways you can finish the card, but this is just a general flat lay on a base 5x7 base card, and then I added some accessories to that. But I'm gonna show you how to make one in a slightly different way. We'll just put this off to the side, where it is folded on the crease. So I have that cut out, this piece cut out already. It's a template that I have in my free resource library. It's basically a bunch of corners together, aligned and centered. So I have a cut in the middle of this card, and eventually I will fold this in half, so the braid will be on the left edge of the folded card. Okay, so I'm going to just start off the basic anatomy of a lattice template is that there is. So when I was cutting this piece was right here, and this piece comes out completely because we're gonna eventually fill it in at the top. Okay, so I'll just put that off to the side. So because it's gonna be folded, I'm just gonna score the center of this line so I can fold it a little bit easier later. I'm gonna hand score this because I don't like scoring things with my Cricut because it never really aligns all that well. Okay, so we're gonna score that, and then actually I'm gonna turn it this way so that's a little bit easier. So all you have to do here is with each corner you just sort of fold it up to the edge of where it's cut. So you just fold it up and then fold the next one up. Or you can start with the other end and just keep going here. It's kind of fun. It's not really braiding, but okay, there we go. So now we have a bunch of these. So then you just sort of tuck the folded, lifted tab underneath the tab that's already flat. So we have that. Now you can, the way I've aligned the template, you don't actually need to glue it in place, but if you feel like it, you can glue it in place and just apply a little glue underneath. I kind of like the look of it slightly raised, so I'm just gonna leave that be. Okay, so there's this last piece, which is right here. And to make it look continuous, we're just gonna sort of slide it in and do a faux last tab. Okay. All right. I probably should have used some of this tape instead. Oh well. Okay. So now we're just gonna fold this entire thing in half. And because I pre-scored it, it should be slightly easier. Yeah, I knew this last piece was gonna give me a little trouble. That's okay. Let me pull this off first, and then I'll fix that in a second. So I'm just gonna crease this. Align and crease, and I'm going to fold this in half separately and sort of tuck in after the fact. Okay. There we go. There we go. Isn't this pretty? Okay, so now of course this is just the base, and you can do whatever you want with the free space. And for this particular card, I'm just gonna add I'm gonna add this orchid flower cutout, which is also included in the free resource library templates. Okay, I'll move this off to the side for a second. Move this off. I pre-assembled these little orchid flowers so that it would go a little faster. All right, actually I'm gonna use my roller adhesive tape. All right, I should probably put a little more on there, but I like to use glue sparingly. Here we go. And then let's assemble this. Happy birthday piece first. Okay, not exactly center, but that's okay. All right, so let's lay out the orchids. There we go. All right, that looks good. So just apply a tiny bit of glue. I am stingy with glue, but that's for a reason. It tends to stick a little bit better when you don't have too much going on. So I'll just a little bit of dollop. I'm using art glitter glue without the fine tip because I couldn't find it. It's somewhere lost in my crafts drawer, but I like this glue. It's non-toxic. It's not perfect. It does warp the paper ever so slightly, but because it has this finer tip and there's actually a metal tip attachment, you don't use as much, and because you don't use as much, it tends to not warp the paper. So it's a nice compromise. I'm not a huge fan of the toxic glues that smell. It gives me a headache. Okay. All right, let's leave that be, let it dry, and then we'll just, we'll do one final, okay. All right, there we go, and that's it. Obviously you can add whatever sentiment you feel like here, and I have one tiny little piece, let's pick that up. Okay, and that's it, super easy. Yep, looks, I think, quite sophisticated and more complicated than it actually was to make.